Okay. Hello and welcome, everyone. I think we should be live. I think YouTube should have caught up now. Let me just refresh for a moment. Okay, looks good. So today it's a very exciting day because we are doing another sneak peek live to give you a little peek at what's coming in a week's time. Our Good Times release. And today I have a guest again. So last time it was Isha, and today I have the wonderful. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I think should be good.
Hello.
Okay. So it's Raquel with me today, and we are going to give you a little peek at the at our upcoming release. So I'm sorry for the sound. Something went wrong there. But I think we should be good now. And yeah, I think it's back. Someone said it's back. Good. Okay, so we are going to sneak peek the Good Times release. And Raquel and I already did a little bit of preparation. And we have a very pretty, we picked a very pretty product suite of this release. So I don't well, before we get started, a few things to get out of the way, of course, are our usual, about the giveaways and everything. So, very exciting. We are giving away the entire release. So, it's a $381 value to one lucky winner. And all you have to do is be active in the chat. So, every time you enter something, you write something in the chat, is another entry to win. And in the end, I think it's Jody with us behind the Pinkfish Studio name. Jody will randomly pick a winner. And for those of you who are joining us in the replay, you also have a chance to win one of two $50 gift cards. So that was everything that I wanted to get out of the way. So first, let's say hi to Raquel again.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing this afternoon, friends?
So Raquel and I are both in the same time zone. So she lives in Spain, I'm in Germany. So for us, it's currently evening. And yeah, I think we are good to go. Do you want to get started?
I'm ready when you are. Yes, of course.
Okay,
Let's do this.
so I will put the camera back on myself for a moment so Raquel can switch her camera to her desk view. And while she does that, I'm just going to tell you a few more things. So if you have questions for us, what would be really helpful is if you put question at the beginning of whatever you write in caps, and that way we can easily see it when we sort of browse through the chat. Okay, so Raquel is still switching her camera. And once she is ready, I will show you all what we are working with. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to give you my desk view already. Hold on. I have to get my computer out of the way. And I think Raquel, for whatever reason, just got kicked out of the stream, but she should be back in a second. There she is. Okay, so while she gets her camera ready, I'm going to show you real quick a little sneak peek. So we are working with the Butterfly Bliss Product Suite. This is a new one coming in our upcoming Good Times release. And Yeah, exactly. Oh, butterflies. Yes, butterflies are always a crowd pleaser. Butterflies are always great, I think. You can do so much with them, and you can get some great dimension. And there is Raquel back with us. So you should now be seeing both of our desks. And what's really fun about this product suite is that it was designed by Isha Gupta, one of our design team members. So that's really fun.
Okay, can you hear me, Kathleen?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sound is good.
Okay,
I can see your desk. Everything's working fine.
perfect. I'm using the stamp set today, Kathleen. How
Hmm.
about you?
So I first wanted to use the press plate because I think I said it in the last live. Every time there is a press plate in a release or in a product suite, I usually go to that one. But I just told Raquel a few minutes ago that today I was way too lazy to get out my glimmer machine. So I also used the stamp set, but there is a coordinating press plate set with a coordinating die and layering stencils. So that's everything that you can get in this product suite. And while Raquel already goes ahead to stamp her image, I can tell you a little bit more about this set because I already did my heat embossing beforehand in gold. And the nice thing about this set is that all of the illustrations are merged onto one stamp or also onto one press plate. So you can stamp these in one go or hot foil or letterpress them in one go. And then you also die cut them in one go. And then the sentiments in this set are hello, lovely. You mean so much to me, forever appreciative, and you're amazing. And there's actually a press plate and coordinating die for all of these, even for the itty bitty, you're amazing. So,
I
okay.
have already gone ahead and stamped my images using, Misty Coast. I left my stamp on my Misty in case I want to restamp it once all the coloring is done. But I'm thinking I will leave my outlines gray.
I think
So
that's
let's see what happens.
yeah, I think that's going to look pretty. I think because these butterflies, so the illustrations are very sort of whimsical with all of these swirly lines. So I think like a soft touch
Yeah,
with the gray looks really nice.
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So I have picked my color combo today. I'm using, rainbow colors because butterflies are spring, beauty, and I needed to use happy colors, and I thought the rainbow color would be perfect for today's card.
That's true. I actually, so I chatted with Raquel when we did a little test session for the technology and everything. And I told her that I usually don't really prepare anything or like pick my colors beforehand, but then it sometimes stresses me out a little bit. So today I was good and I actually picked my colors before. So I
Yeah,
picked marigold, apricot or whatever, sparkling rose, bubblegum, stargazer, mint, and aquamarine. So it's sort of a rainbow too, but
yeah.
I wanted to have this contrast of this really dark blue with the pink and the yellows. So that was sort of what I was going for today.
It will be amazing, Kathleen. I'm sure.
Well, it does make me a little bit nervous to craft alongside you because whatever you do, it always turns out stunning. So,
Oh, come on, come on. I'm I'm going to just color three butterflies because on my final card, I have also do a test run, yesterday, and I'm only using three butterflies. So, just for the sake of time, I will be coloring those three butterflies.
mhm.
But I will tell you in the end what I did with the fourth butterfly. So I have already applied peony, sweet mustard. I'm going now with grassinol. I'm doing a soft blending, not very heavy-handed because it's the first layer. This is, as you said, I believe, 4 stencil set. So the third and fourth stencils are perfect to add some color on certain areas. So I'm not going, very heavy-handed because I know I will be adding more color to later on.
I'm actually starting with a really dark color right in this first layer, so with Stargazer, because I want a very large area in this dark blue, because I think it's such a pretty color.
It is, yeah.
So yeah, I will have, well, not really an issue, but some of the details in the last stencil won't be really visible if you use a really dark color at first, like I did. But I think it's fine, especially since I did some gold embossing, so it already adds this gold embossing, the shimmer detail. Okay, so I'm just having a look at the comments section. So first of all, when will this be released? So what we are showing you today is part of our Good Times release that will be available next week. So next week at 2 p.m. Tuesday, April 15th, 2 p.m. CT is when the release will go live. And then you will be able to get your hands on this product suite as well as four more beautiful product suites and another one designed by Isha Gupta. So it's a really pretty release and some fun new things, I think, like illustration-wise.
And maybe we are sneak peeking another set today, Kathleen?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe another product, not like a full product suite, but another product. How do we decide the color combinations? Okay, so I can only speak for myself. Sometimes it varies. Sometimes I just start by grabbing some ink pads and just see what kind of looks good together or what I feel like. Sometimes I see a card or a project made by someone else where I really like the colors, so I try to recreate the color scheme. And then I also have a Pinterest board where I have some images pinned with inspiring color schemes. And then I try to have a look at my ink pads and pick the colors that fit or match this inspiration image as close as I can. So that's how I do it. Not sure how Raquel does it.
Yeah, well, I'm always browsing through Pinterest, and it depends on my mood, really. So if I want to spend like a good 1 hour in blending, I can go crazy and try different approaches. And most of the time, I do several tests with the same set. So that's why in the end I end up with so many possibilities that I need to use them all. So that's what happens. I am not sure about the color combo, like never. So I have to try. Going from Pinterest for the cover of a book also, wherever
Yep.
catches your attention.
Yep.
And I work from there. And sometimes I feel my goat and sometimes I don't.
Yeah, sometimes it really works out, and sometimes a combination I had in mind just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
But whenever I feel like I want to try something new, that's when I usually go to like my Pinterest board or something and then just pick an image that has sort of colors that I don't reach for like right away normally. But then that's usually how I end up with the color schemes I really like the most. Okay, checking the chat again. Question: I have started my Pink Fresh ink collection. Do you have any must-have sets that you love? Ooh, that's difficult. Because
That's a very tricky one. Yeah.
because I would say that there's no set I don't like. Of course, there are sets that I reach for more often. But then again, if you combine them right, you know, you can make all of them work, or all of them have like something good about them. But I would say, so for me, I think especially the colors from the second release, so the 16 newer ones are definitely some of my favorites, especially the purples. I think the set is called Napa Valley, if I'm not mistaken. And then I also really like the oranges with mimosa in it, or sun-kissed. And then I'm really loving this dark blue with the stargazer, for example. What about you, Raquel?
Yeah, well, I can live without Swiss mustard and raspberry bliss and candy apple. Those are my go-to colors to add some contrast.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also loving, of course, peony and, paradise and Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
I can live without the spruce tips because mint and spruce tips make such a gorgeous
Mm-hmm.
blend. It's amazing. I
Mm-hmm.
love those how these work together.
Yeah. Yeah, I must say that I really discovered the very dark inks for myself recently. At the beginning, I usually grabbed like the lightest tones of each family, like Lemon Whip or Peach Fuzz. But recently, I really love things like the Stargazer or Raspberry Bliss or Tidal Pond. So those really, you know, they have like a really big impact on a card, I would say. Oh yeah, speaking of brushes, I think I saw someone mention something about brushes in the chat. So all of our brushes, all of the sizes have been restocked, I think 2 days ago or something. So if you wanted to get your hands on the 1-inch blending brushes, for example, now's the time. So don't wait before they are gone again.
Yeah, I have also the 1-inch blending brushes. I will be using them today. I don't think if they are in stock right now,
Yeah, they
but
are back.
those are a must-have.
Absolutely. So the 1-inch blending brushes are back in stock, as well as all of the like the 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch. And then we also restocked, while I'm talking about restocks, I just want to mention that we also restocked some other really popular sets, stamps, dies, stencils, whatever. Quite a few things that were out of stock that were really, really popular are now back. So if you were waiting for something, make sure you check the shop, the online shop. So for example, the scallop grid cover plate die from the February release, which was really popular, is back. And the floral field too, that was one very popular product suite.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure you check those out. And I think there's even, I just thought of it because we are working with butterflies. I think the butterfly, what was it called? Fluttering Butterflies, I think. The washi tape product suite. I think that one was restocked too. So if you can't get enough of butterflies, you know, you could get this and then, of course, get this one too.
Yeah, I'm using today another set with butterflies, which is the butterflies in blooms. In bloom, yeah, I will be using the press plate to add some, texture to my background. So we are all in butterfly mode today.
Absolutely, yeah. But then again, I think you can't go wrong with butterflies. They are always
Never,
such,
never.
and you can go crazy with the colors. That's what I love about butterflies. You can there's so many different color combinations you can try, and I don't know, I feel like with butterflies almost everything looks good.
Absolutely. At first, I didn't know how to, the approach to color these butterflies. So when that happens, I always refer, to the packaging, and I have an idea. When I have made like a test run, I feel more comfortable, and then I start to be me, and I go crazy.
Yeah, I think especially when you have a set where you are not really sure what to do with it or how to work with it in the beginning, having a look at the back of the packaging and maybe just
Yeah,
trying that color scheme first, or like the way it was colored, and then in a second go try your own color scheme. I think that's a good way to do it.
that's very helpful. Yeah, very, very helpful.
Okay, so checking the chat again. So I'm done with my ink blending, and I'm really loving the very bright and sort of contrasty colors.
They're gorgeous.
And I love this Stargazer. I think it's definitely one of my favorite inks right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and die cut this real quick. And as I said, it's a one-piece die too, so you only have to line it up like once, and then you're good to go. So no fiddling around with four separate dies, which I love.
Yeah, that's a time saver.
Yep.
In terms of die cutting, yeah. So you're going to finish your cut much more earlier than me.
I don't think so. But I mean, I did cheat a little bit. I did do my heat embossing before we went live, so.
I'm with I'm nearly done with my ink blending. I'm just with the third layer. Oh, I'm so slow in blending. I'm a slow crafter. What can I do?
So, and there they are. And so what I love is that, for example, for this butterfly, it even cuts out the space in between is it called antenna? I don't know. Those things. So.
Yeah, I think so.
Questions. Any new washi sets coming out in this release? So I can tell you this at least. No new washi tape sets, because the March release was almost, or well, not completely, but there were quite a few washi tapes in that one. So there are no new washi tapes in this release, but lots of other fun product suites. And so I also did, while I was playing around with this set before, I also heat embossed stamped and heat embossed the butterflies onto vellum, and then heat embossed them with white embossing powder, just so that I have something I could put, for example, behind my ink blended ones for a little bit of extra layers, because that's something I really like to do with the butterflies. Or if I don't end up using them on today's card, I can always, work them in on a different project.
Yeah, that's a very good idea.
Stargazer with the blue glitter paper. Yeah, exactly. So that's the navy blue glitter paper, and it's a perfect match. So I actually pulled that out. I'm not sure if I will use it today, but I'm going to show you. So here I have a little tray with some things that I die cut or letter pressed, or, for different projects that I didn't end up using. And I thought maybe I'm able to incorporate some of this today. So I actually pulled out this one too. So that would be a perfect match.
You can never underestimate your scraps.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's so much fun. And because, you already did the work. So what I really
Of
like
course.
is just grabbing all of the scraps and then dumping them on my desk and then just playing around, putting things on a card and seeing what goes together. And that's how you end up with like very unique combinations, because sometimes you combine products from completely different releases that normally you
Yeah.
wouldn't. But since you already did the work, it would be a shame to waste it.
I have a box with everything I end up not using in one
Mm-hmm.
project. It's a huge box right now. So the moment I end up my inking, I go to that box and I pick something. I try to fit it in my final design. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know the
Yep,
ideas you have from that box.
exactly. Yeah, so someone was asking if the glitter paper is Pinkfresh Studio. Yes, that is our glitter cardstock. And I love this because it die cuts perfectly and it doesn't shed at all. So you can rub it as much as you want. None of the glitter comes off, which I think is a big plus. And it's very sturdy. And I think we have, Jody, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we have 14 or 15 different colors of the glitter cardstock.
I have done in blending, believe it or not. So I'm going to die cut my butterflies. As I said before, I'm not going to restamp it with the detail black today. So let's see. Let's see.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all a sneak at another product. And I think Raquel is going to sneak even one more in a similar vein. But I think I'm going to use the new double-stitched elongated oval standalone die. So that is also part of the upcoming release. So these ones are not available yet, but they will be available next week too. We have some elongated oval nested dies already, but not with the double stitched. So this is a new addition. And I thought what I would do is maybe use one of these that I still, had in my little box of scraps. And I thought I might die cut an oval out of that and maybe even do like a 2-for-1 sort of thing. So if I cut this out, for example, I could use this on one card and then the center on another card. So that's what I'm thinking. And this is, so in case someone wants to know, because that is a beautiful cover plate die, this is the Charming Stitched Florals cover plate die, and it was part of the Here For You September release last year. And I die cut that at some point and didn't end up using it, so, today's the day.
Yeah. So now I'm going to die cut 3 circles, and I will be using for that a new product from this new release, which is the double stitched circles. I will be using 3 circles, so I'm going to need 2 of those to get like a circle frame. That's what I'm going for.
Okay, so yeah, so Raquel has the circle version of this, also part of the upcoming release, and I have the oval dies. And as I said, I'm trying to make use of this whole thing. So I just adhered my die with some low-tech tape so that I don't ruin, when I pull it up, that I don't ruin the cardstock. And there we go.
Here we are.
And the double stitched, especially with this cover plate die, the double stitch actually works perfectly because you already have this sort of stitching or a stitched look on the cover plate die.
So, by the magic of YouTube, now I have 3. How about that? So I'm going to add some double-sided foam adhesive to all 3 frames.
Mm-hmm. Oh, someone was saying, oh, now I need all of the glitter paper. That's a pity. But the nice thing is that we have a sampler pack that gives you, I think there's 1 sheet of every color in that sampler pack. So that way you can, have a look at all of the colors before you order the individual ones. And then we also have 2 other like variety packs, one with sort of a Christmassy color scheme, and then another one with the metallics, which is my favorite because it also contains the champagne, which is, I think, along with the glacier, my favorite glitter cardstock from the Pink Fresh line.
Yeah, Glacier is my most used glitter paper.
Yeah.
From that pack.
Yeah, exactly.
But I agree with you. The metallic is, you can live without it.
So I'm going to create my card base. And I'm just going to do an A2 side folding card base, so nothing too fancy.
We'll be doing an A2 too.
So it's 5.5 by 4.25 inches.
With this new set, with the double-stitched circle dies, you can also easily create like circle cards.
Mm-hmm.
I love those circles, square.
Yeah.
For some variation.
Yep.
I like to change from one format to another and not always do that A2 card, but that depends on what you're going for. So, as I told you before, I'm using this butterflies in bloom set. This is the press plate from that set, and I'm going to let me grab my die cutting machine. Because press plates are amazing to add some, a special a special texture to your background. So this is how I do it. Okay, here it is. So I will place just like this. And what works for me, I add like a seam. This is 80-pound Nina cardstock, and the cutting plate, and I run it twice, back and forth.
I have to admit that I often forget to use the press plates just for a little bit of texture in the background, and then every time I look at your cards, there are so many details and so much texture and so much going on, but without being too much. But there's so much to discover. I love it.
I don't know if you can see it, but the texture is amazing, and this is Nina 80-pound cardstock. It's not even this spellbinder's cotton or anything. This is just Nina. Okay, because I think my card will be very, plain looking, just with the color butterflies. So I needed to add some extra something, and that is texture.
Yeah. For me, it's usually also texture and especially dimension. I have to have dimension. So what I think I'm doing, so as I told you, I already had this navy cardstock out, and it is a perfect match with the Stargazer. So I thought I would try and see if I could maybe use a frame of this on one of the cards. So I did basically what Raquel did with the circles, I did with the ovals, and created a frame. And we will see if I end up using it. But right now I have this thing going. So I could do like a 2-for-1 sort of thing, and do it like this. And then also, you know, use 1 or 2 of the butterflies on this card, and then maybe switch up the color scheme and do it without the navy on this one. So yeah, let's see what I end up with.
I'm using three colors from my original palette. I'm using Peony, Sweet Mustard, and Atlantis. And I'm just adding some, quick in blending in the place where I will be placing my circles. And on top of these circles, the butterflies will be lying. So something like this.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't apply, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, if you don't, press the at this moment the circles too hard, just so you know if the placement is correct.
Yeah.
You can move them. You can move them. So that's why I love so much the 3M foam adhesive.
So I'm gonna go ahead and stick that cover plate frame down, because I will definitely use it on one of the cards, and then I can go ahead and, you know, think about what I want to do with it. But that way I at least get ahead and get moving, because sometimes I can kind of get stuck and overthink things. But I feel like if I just keep moving, and even if it's just gluing something down, it helps.
It does.
And I know that is a lot of foam adhesive that I'm using right now. I'm usually very sort of frugal with it, but this one, since it's not flimsy is not the right word, but because of the whole texture here, it can be bent very easily, and I want it to stay sort of rigid on my card base, so that's why I'm putting that much foam adhesive.
I'm not frugal or anything with foam adhesive. I must admit. If anything, I use too much. Okay, so there's this final touch I want to add to my card, and I need some greenery, So I will be using another set from 2 or 3 releases ago, which is the embroidery blooms.
That was the January release.
Yeah, so I have also, just for the sake of time, since this is a live, I have already die cut this leaf here and this one over there. I have cut several leaves out of a very light blue cardstock. I think this is a Spellbinder's Glacier or something. And I'm going to add some ink blending to this leaf, and I will be tucking them under my butterflies.
So yeah, just a note. So this is one of the sets that has just been restocked. So that was out of stock for quite a while now. Same as the embroidery hoop that was part of that release. But both of them have been restocked. And I'm just having a look at the comments. I like how some people said they are over adherers. I like that word. And what else? I think there was a question. Who makes your cutting board? So I'm using this. I think you're referring to this one. This is the We Are Memory Keepers all-in-one tool. So you can score and cut and do a bunch of different things with it. But since I started as a scrapbooker, and I would still call myself a scrapbooker, but right now my focus is on card making. Anyway, for scrapbooking, I needed a larger surface. So I use that one quite a lot. And then for card making, I usually just use my small paper trimmer. And then only for the scoring, I use the large one. Okay. Okay, so I created this navy blue glitter cardstock frame, and I'm thinking of actually putting it inside and adhering it directly to the card base so that there's a different level of height between the frame, like the cover plate frame, and then this one. You could pop it up on foam adhesive, but I think this gives it a little nice something.
It's
But
a
then,
special touch. Yeah.
yeah, but I'm also torn of, not using this and then just doing a little light ink blending around this edge here to keep it a little bit lighter. I think I like both. That's my problem. And that's the part where if this wasn't alive, if I had all the time in the world, I would agonize over this decision forever. So that's where, doing this live sometimes really helps me because I know I have to get going. So I just do something.
Yeah. Sometimes I spend hours looking for, trying to decide.
Yeah. Or looking for just the right thing to add. And then what usually happens to me is that the thing that I had in hand at the beginning, that I tried it first, is the thing that I end up using.
Okay. I'm going to start my sentiment. I have to use the Forever Appreciative, which I think goes quite well with the card. I'm using the detail black ink.
So just quickly creating a second card base. Maybe I can actually do it, like do the 2-for-1 thing. We will see.
So every time I use the detail black ink, I always tend to, apply some anti-static powder tool, and then I take advantage of the thickness of the ink and I apply clear embossing powder, and then I heat set it.
Tips and tricks.
I like that shiny look.
It definitely adds something, that's true.
So I'm using the heat gun just so you know, in case of in terms of noise. Is that okay?
That's all good. We are all used to hearing heat gun. Just quickly turn down I muted Raquel just for a second because Zoom is really good about tuning that part out, but the streaming service we use right now isn't. But that's not a problem.
I'm done already.
That's good. Oh, hold on. I didn't want to stick that down just yet. I wanted to do a little bit of ink blending. Hold on. So I'm tapping this off in the center because that's what will be covered with this part here, or with this piece. I just want to have sort of like a hazy background behind that piece. So I can bring it back in. I have to be a little bit careful because since this also has these stitched lines and I did the double stitch edge, it did cut off, some small parts, but I can always cover those up with butterflies or something else. So it's not a big deal. And
Any greenery, a small flower would be great for that, or clear drops. Okay.
okay, again, keep in mind this part will be covered, so this doesn't have to look nice. Oops. Nope, I need more. Not enough. Raquel, will you please tell us the colors you used in... Hold on. What does it say? The colors you used to ink blend. Can you...
Absolutely. Yeah, I've used peony, sweet mustard, grassinol, aquamarine, and paradise. And to add some, contrast or gradient or more contrast, I use candy apple with peony and Atlantis with paradise.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see them on the screen. So here they are.
And we will also add all of the products used to the description after the video. Of course, keep in mind those products that we are sneak peeking, we can't add them just yet because, of course, they are not live in the shop. But we can already add the ink colors that we use, so you can check those out.
And again, by the magic of YouTube, I have some additional, layers of the die cut sentiment.
Yeah, I did that too. So I already die cut and stacked up 3 pieces for the Hello Lovely sentiment from the set. I only have to stamp it one more time and then die cut, but I wanted to stack that up already. I didn't know that I was creating 2 cards, so I only have 1 sentiment right now, or, almost 1 sentiment, I should say. So let's see.
So it's
I'm
a 2
still
for 1.
torn on this card if I want to use the glitter cardstock or not. I really like both. I can't decide. So what do you all think? Let me know. Do you want me to use the glitter frame on this second card, like this, and then add this butterfly somewhere? Or do you want it without the glitter and maybe do, a softer version of this card? Let me know. Yes, so the butterflies that I have here, they were stamped on vellum and then heat embossed with white detail embossing powder. And that's always a great thing to have. And that actually works with lots of different stamp sets to create some sort of filler elements or elements that you can kind of layer. This also works perfectly with leaves and branches that you can tuck in because they are not too bold so that they take over your card, but they add a little something. So I always like to have something like this. Okay, so I only see add the glitter. I think there's one person saying soft version. Another one soft version. Now the soft version people come out. I like both, I have to say. But
Me too.
it's just maybe, you know what?
Decisions.
Yeah, exactly. Decisions. And that's what I was talking about with the I can agonize over this for hours. I will leave it because my initial thought before creating this, or when I decided on the colors for the butterflies, I was feeling sort of springy, fresh, bright. So I feel like without is more that vibe. So I will try my best to do. I should have done that before adhering this frame, but it is what it is. And since I used a whole bunch of foam adhesive, I can't really pull that up again. So I will try to add just a little bit of ink blending around the edge without it being too blotchy, I hope.
So 2 cards for 1 today, Kathleen.
Yep.
Did I ever told you you are so brave?
Raquel always
You
says
are.
It says I'm brave because I don't usually prepare. I'm not sure if that's what you would call brave or if that's what you would call silly, but you know.
For me, you are brave.
Okay, so let's get this guy adhered down, and I will adhere this one to it's like the same one that I did in Vellum for this nice little extra layer. And then when I fold that one up, you have this second wing underneath. So you have this dimension here.
I usually tend to also stamp all my images in Vellum with white embossing powder, and add those images underneath my main images, you know, for
Yeah,
some, for something. And
exactly.
it turns out being a soft, beautiful look for me,
Yeah.
at least. But today, I thought, well, get over it.
Today I did it, so you didn't have
Yeah.
to. I think, does the vellum have to be special to use with embossing powder and heat emboss? So you will hear different opinions about that from different people. I use super cheap regular vellum. It's not even especially thick or anything, and I've never had a problem with it burning. Of course, you know, you have to keep your heat gun moving and you shouldn't put it too close, but I've never had an issue. You will also have people who tell you that specially made vellum, thicker vellum, whatever, heat resistant is better. That's just, you know, my experience so far.
I'm using a very thin vellum right now lately. I think it's Spellbinders, and it's very, I don't know, 20 pounds. I don't know. But the images is stamped perfectly.
Yeah.
And it's also good for, you know, adding white foil. If you have white, or of course black, or
Yeah.
apart from gold, you can also use those.
I still have to get myself some white foil. It's on my wish list. Someone was asking what liquid adhesive we are using. So I'm using, it's actually a Spanish brand. So I'm actually using the Spanish glue. So I don't think it's actually even available in the US. And Raquel, what are you using?
I'm using the Burley Art. This is quite an old one. Is very well used, very well loved, and I refill it from time to time from the the big mama, the big bottle.
Okay.
I'm going to add some bling. I'm using today the ice clear drops.
Definitely some of my favorite clear drops of all of the Pink Fresh ones. Okay, so I just realized that I ended up using that butterfly on the card. You know, I switched the butterflies, but it doesn't matter. It's all good. So
It will be amazing in the end.
hold on. I think I'm gonna try to add a little bit of ink blending behind the vellum, so on the back of the vellum. I'm not doing it on the front side, but on the back. And I'm doing it in pink. And that way you get, it's very, very subtle. You might not even be able to see it on camera. But especially if you put it on a white cardstock, I will show you in a second, you will be able to tell the difference. Not sure, you know, if my lighting is good enough to, so you can see. Hold on. So this is one where I didn't add ink blending on the back, and then on this one I added ink blending with the sparkling rose on the back of the vellum. And I think it adds such a nice little subtle detail, picks up the color again, and you can create your own colored vellum basically.
I love Vellum for, for using with the press plates, and of course for heat embossing your images, or just die cut some leaves, die cut some greenery, and tuck it under your main images.
The only thing you have to be careful with is either you have to heat set it a little bit, or leave it to dry for a while, or just be really careful when you touch it, because since this is vellum and it's a bit of a slick surface, if you touch it with your hands you will rub off some of the ink, so make sure that you don't smear it all over your project. I'm too lazy for heat setting right now, as I usually am, but I'm just being careful not to touch it too much. And then this is what I was talking about. So I have some of these areas here. That's just where the frame, this double stitched line cut into the design. So I'm missing some of these areas. I will just cover those up with butterflies and maybe a clear drop or something. There's always a way to hide those.
So this is my final card. I think it turned out nice.
It looks really pretty.
I maybe should have re-stamped my images with detailed black. This look is not my go-to,
But I think it looks really nice. The soft lines, and you have the bright colors of the ink blending, so you still have that sort of bright.
Yeah. I try to add more interest to the card with the greenery, but yeah, maybe next time I'll re-stamp my images.
Okay, so I'm only missing my sentiments. I'm not going to do the heat embossing right now, so I have the Hello Lovely prepared already, but I think I'm going to do use the press plate with a matching color foil. So actually, one of the bright colors, not gold or something, but maybe pink or the aqua, for the sentiments. And then I will just add them in the center. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add some bling.
Perfect.
Oops.
So this is my final card. I don't know if you can see it from there, but the ink blending I added on my background is just underneath the butterflies. So if you look closely, I mean, it's visible in real life, but maybe not in the video today. But if you look closely, yeah, you can see the color. I should have gone maybe a little bit more heavy-handed with that ink blending. So every time I finish a card, I say, I could have done this, I could have done that.
Yeah.
But this is it. This is it today. So, as I was telling you in the beginning, there's the fourth butterfly. So, what can you do with the fourth butterfly? So, yesterday in my test run, I did these circle tags, also using the set that we are also sneak peeking today, the double stitch circles. So, just 2 circles and a hole in the middle, some some twine, some ribbon, whatever you want, and the same thing, except that for this first circle I use my press plate from the Steeped in Kindness set, and used waterful ink to add some interest to the background. So yeah, this is it. And this sentiment is also from the Butterfly Bliss set that we are sneak peeking today.
So pretty. I think there's just always so much to discover on your cards. The texture in the background, the ink blending, just everything, there's so much that I don't even usually think about adding. And then when I see your cards, I'm like, oh, I could have done that. Oh, I could do this.
Well, just I'm glad you like it, and I'm glad to give you some ideas, because since you already have the press plate, why not use it? Why not use it?
Yeah.
I could have. I'm sorry. I could have used the press plate from today's set from the Butterfly Bliss, but these small flowers look great in
Yeah.
background, so that's why I used the other set.
And it just goes to show how great the different products work together. You don't always have to stick with your with one
Of course,
product
yeah.
suite. You can mix and match, and just if you have different floral sets, they usually work together. So just have a look, and it also brings a bit of new life to your products, I think. So
Yes.
it's always nice to see that. Okay, so I was saying I'm going to add my sentiments later. I just wanted to, I think you can see, the direction my cards are going in. I will think of something to hide this. And yeah, I'm absolutely loving your cards, Raquel. And I'm having a look at the chat again. Yeah, so I hope you can see the ink blending on the vellum. I really love how that turned out, and it picks up the pink again. So that's definitely something that I need to remember to do more often. Let's see if Jody already picked the winner or if she's on it right now. And of course, if you have any more questions, let us know. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, we would love it very much if you give this a thumbs up. And if you don't already do, if you subscribe. So, congratulations to Beth Nierode. I hope I didn't butcher your name. You are the winner of the full Good Times release. Email customerservice@pinkfresh.studio.com to claim your prize. Raquel, do you want to flip your camera while I'm still talking so we can say goodbye in a second?
Of course.
So I'm going to, hold on. I'm going to flip my camera myself for a moment, and then Raquel is ready, I think. Yep, there she is. Okay, so congratulations, Beth. This is a very fun release. And I mean, of course, you have to wait another week until you see everything that you won, but I'm sure you won't be disappointed. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. I hope you enjoyed this sneak peek live. I hope you got some useful tips and tricks out of this. And if you are watching this as a replay, then make sure that you leave a comment below, because we are also giving away 2 $50 gift cards for everyone, amongst those people who comment on the replay. So just checking real quick if there are any more questions for Raquel or myself. And yeah, as I said, I hope you enjoyed it. What about you, Raquel? Did you have a good time?
It was great. I mean, I can't believe I finished my card in time. So that was amazing. And you are so easygoing that it's always fun to craft with you.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. I wish we lived closer. I would love to craft with you, like just face to face. I think that, and I would love to look over your shoulder while you are crafting, because I don't know what's going on in your mind. It's just everything you do is stunning. So yeah. I always say, so I'm definitely Raquel's biggest fangirl. There's no question about it.
You're so kind. You're so kind. So
Okay,
thank you.
so sorry.
No, thank you. I just going to say thank you, everybody. I hope you like today's project answer and find, learn some tips and tricks from this crafty session. It was really fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining me, Raquel, and thank you to everyone who joined us. And I think I will see you next week for another YouTube live. So yeah, and definitely check out our Instagram and so on for more sneak peeks in the coming days. And also for some sneak peeks of the cards for him event projects. So we started sneaking those too. And I think today it's my turn to share my sneak peek. So yeah. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you, Jody, for helping out and moderating for us. And then I hope you all have a great rest of the week. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.